All right, welcome back. So, in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at some AI. Well, obviously, we already have some AI, but we're going to do some different types. Now, the type we're going to do is a wolf. So, to do this, we have two options. Either we can just create one from scratch, or we could just duplicate this guy. So, we can just duplicate the sheep and go into here and just rename this guy wolf. We'll head over to the AI tab. And in here, we're going to change some things. Now, instead of fleeing, we're going to fight. For Wander, we can keep that. For this, we'll do 1 because that's his attack range. For the max chase, do like 18. For this, we'll leave that. For this, we can leave that. And then this, we put that on fight. Let's save. And that's kind of it. We need a few more things. But firstly, in here, let's make sure we upload our wolf. So once you've uploaded your wolf, hit submit. And here we go. There's our wolf. Now, for everything else, we can just make sure that these, are proper. So it would probably reset. So let's make sure we reset the animations. For the body types, we can do the same thing, but it seems relatively good. We could try to fit to render, or honestly, we can just turn it off, and that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, okay, let's just leave it like that. For everything else, we can just leave it and hit save. Feel free to adjust these back to its default values, which would probably be ideal. Maybe we might want to half some of these. It might be a little too big, but we can give it a try. Let's hit save. And let's see what our wolf looks like when we add it. Our map, there's a wolf. That actually doesn't look too bad because the size is pretty big, but it's fine. So let's now go over here and let's add the things we need. Now, the things we need for this to work is firstly, we need a new item that will be a melee weapon. This is going to be the melee attack. So let's rename this to melee attack. And essentially, this is going to be used as a weapon for our monsters. Now, here we can set this to 2, set this to 1. Health, we can leave it at 10. Everything else, I believe we can keep the same. For the effects, it doesn't really matter because we won't really see it. You can set the on use, but again, it probably won't even be noticeable. So here we can just hit save and apply. In our wolf, we go to the default items and set the melee attack. Now our wolf should be able to attack using that new melee weapon. But additionally, we do need to set some things. Now, the things that we need to set are essentially in the player types. In the player types, right now we have, these are the defaults, right? But these aren't exactly what we want. So for the NPC, I'm going to actually change this neutral creeps. There we go. Neutral creeps. Neutral. There we go. Neutral creeps. We'll leave everything as is, I believe, for now. And we can just show name label, we'll say false. And yeah, just hit save. There we go. And we'll add a new one. And the new one that we're going to add is for hostile. So this will be over here for hostile creeps. Now for this guy, we're actually going to save it for now, but we'll come back to it. But now we have a few things, but now we will also want, this is for later, but we might as well add it now, resources. We're going to add a resources tab that will basically be for resources like trees and stuff. So let's add this as well. But the more important one is in the hostile creeps, we want to set the hostility. So we want to set this to hostile to human players and hostile to neutral creeps. So we can hit save. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We can head over to the script. And if we recall, so here we have this guy. So create a potato. We can actually just delete this. We don't need this. Let's delete this action. But here we assign player AI 1, but that's not right because we don't want player 1 AI. So let's head over to our global variables where we have our global variables, right? So in here, we're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to change this actually to AI hostile. We're going to create a new one, AI neutral. And lastly, AI resources. And for the resources, we can simply do player, but we're going to do computer 2. This one, same thing, player, but we'll do computer 3. And there we go. We can just close this. But now, obviously, we have a few problems. So here, for example, we need to change this to neutral creeps because we're spawning neutral creeps. In here, we're going to spawn this sheep. We're going to do AI neutral. And now you can imagine, though, we want a wolf. How do we spawn the wolf? Well, it's easy. We can just copy and paste this, actually. Pop this over here. And instead of doing 20 wolves is a little too much. Maybe we'll do like 1. Honestly, we'll do 1 for now. And then sheep, we'll change that to wolf. And then obviously over here, we want to create a wolf, not a sheep. And we're not going to do an AI neutral. We're going to do AI hostile. There we go. And obviously, I think we should delete this little text thing. If you have that already, don't add that or just delete it. But we'll also go over here and we want to assign the AI hostile as well, right? So here we need to do the AI hostile, do the neutral creeps, hostile creeps. There we go. And that's it. Now in the player here, this is where it's assigning the human players. So we don't really need to do anything else. Now for kind of to recap, essentially, here we're creating a sheep for the AI neutral. And in the initialize, the AI neutral is being set to the neutral creeps. And then same thing for hostile, right? The AI hostile is being set into the hostile creeps, into the player types. And this is where the magic happens, essentially, where we can set different things like the hostility to each other. And the more important one is the hostile creeps. It needs to be hostile towards human players. So let's save and apply and publish and give this a try. All right, so once we've republished, we can see that our wolf is there, but he doesn't really attack. It kind of attacks, but not really. Now, the reason it's not really working is in our wolf, unfortunately, the sensor, it just isn't really picking up, essentially. Like, there's no sensor, really. So to fix this, what we're going to do is we're going to create our own sensor. So let's head over to the collisions. And we can see, first of all, that this guy is not really proper. So we're going to leave that like that. And we're going to add a circle. All right, there we go. We got one. So let's select this guy. All right, so once we've added a square or a little box here, we can add this in. Obviously, this is probably too big, maybe. But for the offset, let's actually just reset everything to 0. I don't know why I'm trying to do it manually. Okay, there we go. What we can do here is we can just reduce the radius just a little bit, maybe to like 30, maybe a little more, maybe a little more. We'll just do like 10. I think 10 is good. All right, so once we've done that, we can turn the is sensor on, and this is now our sensor. So we can just hit save, 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 and reapply. All right, and there we go. Now he's chasing me right now, but I guess I can just let him chase me. It's fine. So right now we have health, but it's invisible. So I don't actually know if I'll die, but you can see he is hitting the other sheep if we kind of get in the way. So we can see he does AoE attack, essentially. There we go. So yeah, he does now attack us. All right, and that's it for the AI. And I'll see you guys in the next video.